Bonjour! Today's video is a little special because we teamed up with 4 other makeup artists that are on YouTube as well to tell you about all the products in our kit that we love and that we just couldn't work without. We all come from different areas and some of us work in different fields of the makeup industry, and obviously we all have our own style. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see who is picking what and to see if there is any similarities in our favorites. If you're watching other makeup artist channels, you might already know them. We have Julie Ruby, Nina L, Giselle Ramirez, and McKenna Burns. All of them are makeup artists in real life and they share on their channel everything that's makeup related, makeup artist career, lots of great tips. All of us are publishing a video today at the same time talking about all our kit essentials, so I'll put their channels in the description box so you can go say hi. And I also want to say a big thank you to Julie Ruby because she's the one who reached out to all of us and put this concept together. So thank you, Julie, and I'm really inviting you to check out her channel because she talks about all the different aspects of being a makeup artist. A quick introduction is necessary, I think, before we get started with my essentials, because depending on the field of makeup that you're working in, your kit essentials are going to be very different. So my name is Justine, I'm a full-time makeup artist and I mostly work in film, commercial, and I'm slowly getting into the bridal industry. I would say that my style of makeup is definitely on the natural side. Usually when you work in commercial and TV, it's nothing too creative. It's something that just looks natural, fresh. We don't want to see too much texture or too much product. So that's going to reflect obviously on the products that I pick today. And another criteria as well is that I live in Toronto, Canada. So the winters are very cold and the summers are really hot and humid. Obviously the products that I'm carrying in my kit have to work with this type of climate. The first product that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about kit essential is obviously my Face Atelier foundation. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I have been a big fan of this foundation for many years now. That's the foundation that I use on most of my jobs. It just seems to work and blend and look so beautiful on everyone. The only skin type that you have to be a little bit more careful with is with oily skins, because that's a product that's very shiny, very glowy. So obviously for oily skins you have to prep a little more. It has a light to medium coverage, which is definitely more on the natural side. So that's something that works for my style of makeup, but if you're used to wear something that's full coverage, you might not like it. The formula is really buildable though, like it's never gonna look cakey, and I can achieve something that's a fuller coverage if I want to. It's very skin-like, you don't see any texture, it kind of like melts into the skin. And so many times people are asking me what brand is it because they are really impressed by the way it looks. This foundation is silicone based, so it's very long lasting, it's almost waterproof, and that's why I love it for when I'm on set, for film, for commercial, because the days are usually really long, so I need my makeup to stay flawless until the end of the day. It comes in a small plastic bottle like that with a pump at the top. I'm not a big fan of the packaging, so I depotted it, but I depot most of my products anyways. But I would say that it's more convenient to have a packaging like this one than most other foundations when it's like a heavy glass bottle. But because it's the main foundation that I use, I obviously carry 8 to 10 shades in my kit, so I depotted it to save some space. I put them in little 5 milliliters squeeze bottle like this one. It's small, it's compact, and if you want to see how I depotted this, I have a full playlist of depotting videos on my channel, so I'll put that in the description box for you as well. You really don't need a lot of product, like a little goes a long way. So I find that even if the bottle is pretty small, I don't have to refill them too often, which is great. And another thing that I love is that they're not too expensive because foundation is probably one of the things that costs the most money in our kits because we need so many different ones and so many different shades. They are 38 Canadian dollars, and on top of that you can get a 40% off pro discount, which makes them pretty affordable, so we love that. Another product that has been in my kit for quite some time and that I reach for very often is the Color Fix from Danessa Myricks. Two shades in particular. It's the shade Blackout, it's a matte black, and the shade Exposed, that's a cool tone, sort of beige. You might already be familiar with the Color Fix. They are basically some sort of hybrid cream eyeshadows that you can use all over the face. So I mostly use them on the eyes, but you can use them for contouring, you can use them for blush, on the lips. They're really versatile and they are waterproof, very long lasting and super pigmented. So a lot of makeup artists love this product. I use the shade Blackout as a regular black liner because it's really hard to find a black liner that's very pigmented, doesn't transfer. The formula is really great. Apparently you can also apply it in the waterline. I've never tried doing that because I never really have to put black liner in a waterline, but that's something you can do with the Color Fix. Besides the formula, that's amazing. I really love the fact that it comes in a tube because it's obviously very practical to put in my kit, and because it's one of the only black liners that you can use in a sanitary way, because as you know, as professional makeup artists, we can't double dip in our product because we don't want to transfer bacteria from one client to the other. That would be very bad. So we can't use products directly on our clients either. So I just squeeze a little bit of it on a plexi, on a metal palette, and then I apply it with a brush. I like the consistency because it's almost like a gel. It's not too runny and it's not too thick either. And I really love the shade Exposed as well because, as I was telling you, I most of the time have to do very natural makeup, but I still want to apply something on the lids, so that's when the shade Exposed is perfect. It just brings a little something on the lids so they are not fully naked, but it stays very natural at the same time. And I also use it a lot as a base when I want to do a more sophisticated eye look, like a smoky eye for example. I would apply this shade all over the lid, almost like an eyeshadow base or primer, and then go over top with powder eyeshadows. It's very easy to blend, very easy to apply. You have to work quite quickly though because they dry in a few seconds, so I usually would start with one eye and then do the second. They have so many different colors, they have different finishes, they have metallics, they have glitters, they have glossy ones. All of them are beautiful and they truly are a perfect product for a makeup artist. But I would say that these two shades are really my top essentials. Another product that I haven't seen any other makeup artist using it, but I'm so glad I found it because if I didn't, I would spend so much more money on trying to achieve a palette like this one. It's from a brand called MAC Pro, so it's not MAC Cosmetics, it's MAC MAQ, it's something completely different. And they have tons of creamy palettes like these ones. They have some bigger ones. These ones I think are the smaller ones. They already come in this super small and compact container, so you don't have to worry about depotting it. It's just perfect, ready to go in your kit. And I love this blush palette in particular because they are very pigmented. Like, you have to use the tiniest amount, and what I do is that I usually warm it up on the back of my hand because the texture is more like it's a sort of wax, and then I just dab it on the cheeks and it looks beautiful. When you have this palette, you don't really need other shades unless you're doing something a bit more specific, but if you're only doing a beauty, bridal, natural makeup, you don't need more shades than that. Like, it has everything you need. And the price point for this product is really crazy because you get 10 shades and there is a lot of product in it for 34 Canadian dollars. And on top of that, depending on where you order it from, you can get a pro discount. So I think I ended up paying it 25 Canadian dollars. When in comparison, another cream blush that I really like is the one from Ilia, like the little stick ones. One stick, so one shade, is $45 and you get 10 in here. So I don't know why it's not more popular, but if you usually like the products that I'm recommending, please check this one out because it's a beautiful product for an amazing value. Another product that if I didn't have in my kit for whatever reason, I would freak out. I don't know how to use anything else but that product. It's the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. If you haven't tried it, please go and swatch it. It's so beautiful. I would compare it to the concealer from Too Faced, the one that's also beautiful, but I would say that this one is a little bit more hydrating. But in terms of coverage and texture, it's pretty similar. It has such a fine texture that you can get the most natural coverage, but you can also build it up to have a fuller coverage, and it's never going to look cakey. It's never going to look dry. I use it even on my mature clients, like it doesn't go in the fine lines, it doesn't crease too much. It's very easy to apply, very easy to blend, and it's just the best concealer I've tried so far. Obviously, because it's Dior, it's a little bit more expensive. I believe that one concealer is 45 Canadian dollars, but you get 11 milliliters, which is a lot more than most concealers. So in the end, if you do the math, the value is not bad. Once again, you only need a tiny bit, so it's going to last you for a long time, and I find that it's really worth the price. And I've tried different concealers, they've never really worked for me. So I'm actually really curious to see if the 4 makeup artists that are also doing this video with me are going to select a concealer in their essential, because I would love to try something new and see if I can find something that's even better. I currently have 9 shades in my kit. Their color range is beautiful. They have so many shades from the lightest to the darkest, beautiful undertones as well. And I use this product on everyone, even when I'm doing male grooming, so working on a male actor or client. That's the product that I use as well, because depending on how you're applying it, you can adjust the coverage and build it to what you need without having too much texture showing. The next product is quite controversial. I find that people either love it or they hate it. It's the Eyes to Mesmerize Creamy Eyeshadows from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a product that works really well for the type of work that I do. It's natural, but it gives a little bit of color, a little bit of like brightness on the eyes without looking too intense or too overpowering. It's not the most long-lasting product depending on the skin type of the person. Like if you have oily lids, you might want to apply a primer first and eventually top it up with a powder at the end if you want it to last all day long and not have to worry about it. The shades that I use the most, I would say, that are Oyster Pearl for fair skin tones. For darker skin tones, I really love Amber Gold. It's the perfect, not too warm, not too yellow gold. I love it. And I would say that when I have to do a makeup that's a little bit more glam, bridal, beauty, Pillow Talk is always a winner. Most people love it. One of the reasons why I love them so much is that they're so quick to use. I usually only apply one shade all over the lid, quickly blend it, and that's it. It's done in 5 seconds. I can move on to the next thing. I honestly rarely use anything else anymore. I have, I think, 4 or 5 shades in my kit right now, and that's all I need. And the last product that I picked is actually something that I don't think I've ever talked about on my channel, because I never really paid attention to it. You know, it's an essential, but it's not something that's like, wow. But when I'm thinking about it, it's something that I use on 100% of my job. It's the Brow Book from Senna. As you can see by the packaging, it's been on many adventures with me. It's always on my makeup table. So basically what it is just a palette that has all of the shades that you need to do eyebrows. It goes from like platinum to black, and there are some shades that are a little bit harder to find, like this one, for example, auburn, that I love for people that have red hair. There is a cool tone gray as well, something that's more ashy. So really, anybody that sits in your chair, you know you can do their brows only with this palette. I mostly use powder products to do eyebrows just because it's what has the most natural effect. So that's really the only product that I need and that I use. And once again, the value is really great for makeup artists when you need to have all of these shades in your kit. That one was 120 Canadian dollars, which is it's not cheap, but when you think about Anastasia Beverly Hills products, for example, one single powder eyeshadow is $30. So to build a palette like that, even if you don't get as many shades, it would be a lot more expensive. And depending on where you're buying it, you can most likely get a pro discount on it, which makes the value even better. The packaging is okay, it's compact, so I like that. It's very easy to put in your kit. I think I'm still going to depot it because the material is cardboard, so it's kind of falling apart, obviously, after some time. The pans are only magnetic pans, so you can just lift it with a spatula and they come right out, and transfer it directly into a magnetic palette, so it would be even smaller and more compact. Like I said, nothing too exciting about it. It just works really well for me and for my kit, and I think it's a staple in many makeup artist kits as well. I'm going to stop here for today. I obviously have more products that I love in my kit, but I find that these ones are really essential to my work, and I will probably keep buying them for a long time. Let me know if you've tried any of these products, if you like them, if you don't, if you have something else that I should try. All the products that I mentioned today will be linked in the description box, as well as the channels of the 4 makeup artists that are doing this video with me today. So if you have a little bit more time, I would encourage you to go check out their channels because they are really great artists. Thank you so much for spending this little moment with me. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bisous!